Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome. I'm Cyril Martin, Communication Officer, and I'm very glad to see you again for this new webinar. Today, we're revisiting safety training. In January, during a previous webinar, you may have attended, and if not, the replay is available on our website. We introduced the ambitious safety training portfolio for you. Today, we're taking it one step further. But before we proceed, I'd like to remind you that, as usual, this webinar is being recorded and will be available on our YouTube channel and the ERA website as soon as possible. I also want to let you know that you can ask any questions you have via the chat. We'll do our best to answer them either in writing or orally at the end of this webinar. So today we have quite a crowd with us. First, let me introduce the three speakers from the agency. Josef Doppelbauer, the Executive Director of ERA, Marnix van der Eijsde, Team Leader within the Monitoring, Analysis, Research and Stakeholders Unit, and Gregory Rolina, Program Manager within the Safety and Operations Unit. Then you'll have the opportunity to meet 10 training owners, but I'll let my colleague Gregory tell you more about them later. All right, that's enough for the intro speech. Before handing over to Josef Doppelbauer, I'd like to first show you a short video presenting the activities of the ERA Academy. ERA Academy has been initiated some years ago to provide a solid basis for all dissemination done by ERA and to streamline the approach.
Everybody can be a safety leader, and that's one of the messages that we provide with the training.
The reason I'm here is I want to learn a little bit more about safety leadership.
I appreciated a lot in this training the capability of the trainer to involve.
Je pense également que l'étude des facteurs organisationnels et humains est très importante et que nous devons examiner chacun des incidents, des accidents, des presque incidents à la lumière de ces facteurs organisationnels et humains pour faire croître la culture de sécurité au sein des entreprises.
So the first part is about the trainer directive.
Our world is becoming more and more digital.
Good afternoon. Welcome to this first Q&A session.
Because the future is green and multimodal. The future is rail. Many thanks, Cyril, and good afternoon, everyone. Today we are speaking about training and knowledge as a pillar of railway safety. Railway safety is about the protection of lives and property, and we also know that railways are one of the safest mode of transport. Now, why is training so crucial for railway safety? Training is so important because it will contribute to the proper and uniform understanding of the European Union legislation on railway safety and interoperability, the implementation guides and recommendation, and as you could see in the short video clip, the agency is developing an ambitious training portfolio. The training that the agency offers will contribute to increasing the level of railway safety and interoperability in the European railways, and of course, hopefully as a spin-off, also increase the market share of railways. And training will also contribute to the quality of applications in vehicle authorizations and single safety certificates. This will reduce time and cost for both applicants and the agency, and it will also mitigate the risk for the authority tasks of the agency. Finally, training will help us to promote the training and attract more people to work in the railways. Now, our plan is, in order to reach as many as possible stakeholders, we want to facilitate the trainings and the training options all over Europe, normally in local languages. And as this is a quite significant enterprise, we will not be in the position to provide all the trainings ourselves. Therefore, we have started the train the trainer and other initiatives, and we want to evaluate the training provided by other parties to have, of course, the correct interpretation of the legislation being educated. We are progressing on this by now since a couple of years, and we have started with a pilot, and this pilot will be the main subject of this webinar. And for this, I now hand over to Gregory Rollinger. Gregory, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Joseph, and hello everyone. As Joseph introduced, today is about an activity that we are piloting and which aims at identifying, recognizing, and giving visibility to safety training courses in any European language that support railway companies and professionals in applying the safety legislation. This activity complements others which relate to the development and the delivery of training, and that we had the pleasure to share with you at the beginning of the year. So I'd like to share some elements of context regarding this pilot, the ERA pilot qualification scheme for safety training. And I have a slide on this. So this slide was presented during our European Rail Safety Days last September 2023 in Tallinn. And you can see now we are in the blue box 2024. So elements of context, it was announced in Tallinn. When we launched the call was open to any training owner who was offering safety training applicable to railways. We received 12 applicants by the deadline before Christmas last year. 2 of the applications were then withdrawn, and our team conducted an assessment, and 10 applicants were successful according to the criteria. So criteria were assistance to the EU legislation, alignment with ERA approach to safety, feedback from participants and trainers' profile. And we have now starting reflecting with those partners, with those successful training owners, on the main characteristics of a possible qualification scheme to be implemented in a more sustainable way. So for example, make sure the criteria apply to any type of training. Because, for example, e-learning is quite different than classroom, so we have to build robust criteria for evaluating the safety training. Define a relevant oversight system. Define the conditions for maintaining the qualification over the time, duration of such qualification, costs, benefits, rights, and obligations linked with this qualification. So we are clearly working on this. It's a work in progress, and we will have more to reveal in the coming months. We are working with the training owners that you will see in a minute, but also internally, in particular, to see how this work can fit a broader railway educational initiative. And you will have the chance to hear our colleague Marnix, who is leading this activity in a moment. Now, I'm very glad to welcome the 10 successful training owners who will share their views about the importance of knowledge for railway safety and about a qualification scheme for safety training. So for practical reasons, some of these interventions were recorded in the relevant language, which is the main language of delivery of the training. As Joseph mentioned, this initiative is clearly to overcome the linguistic issues that is our daily business. So what we are going to do, we have cut the portfolio into 3 zones according to the geographical zone. So we'll have the northern part, the more central part, and the southern part. And we'll start with the northern part, in which we have professionals from Sweden, Finland, and Poland. And our first guest is Lena Leklund. Lena, if you are here, may I ask you for a short introduction?
Yes, thank you very much, Gregory. My name is Lena Leklund, and I am the CEO and founder of MTO Säkerhet. That's the Swedish name for actually MTO Safety, so that it would be easier for you to understand. I am a senior safety consultant specializing in human and organizational factors, and so is my company. We have participated and supported ERA in the development of different parts of the CSM, in designing the CSM legislations and guidance material. And I am very happy to be able to meet with you in this meeting and talk a little about what we have done. We have several training courses covering the area of human and organizational factors and railway safety. In this particular case, and the subject for this short introduction is to present our e-learning course on common safety methods for safety management systems. We have designed an e-learning course that gives the participants an overview of all the CSM regulations, but in particular focusing on risk assessment, RA, safety management systems, SMS, and CSM monitoring. And the purpose of this course is to, in an easy way, explain how you can apply the different common safety methods in a cost-effective manner and actually explain how they are interconnected. And just to give you an example, a well-designed safety management system and processes and structures and procedures will ensure a cost-effective risk assessment process, because then you have all or several of the measures, risk management measures in place. So I think that is a very good point when you are talking about the common safety methods, that what you do in your safety management system will actually give you less work. If you do a lot of good work in terms of safety management, that will give you less work in the risk assessment and risk management part.
Thank you very much, Lena,
yes.
and thank you for providing this overview of your company portfolio and for describing your the training that was successfully assessed by the team. Now, according to your experience, why would you say that knowledge is a pillar for railway safety? And in complement, why would you say that this initiative that aim at qualifying safety training is important for European railways?
Well, I would say that we have in all areas of industry and transportation, safety management is a key to a successful business, and this is in particular so for the railways, because that is actually a competitive advantage that the railway market has, that it is a ultra safe mode of transportation. In order to achieve this, in particular in a world with new systems, increased digitalization and automation, you must know how to design your management systems, your processes and procedures in order to ensure safety. And in order to do so in a smart and cost-effective manner, you need to know what this is all about, what is the purpose. And that is actually the mission we have at MTO Säkerhet, to try to explain this. And if I may say so, the legislation may be a bit complicated if you read the regulations. And I think it is a mission for all of us to explain this and to make it usable and user-friendly and so forth. So therefore, knowledge and is very important.
Thank you very much, Lena. I suggest you stay here in case some question emerge, and sure. We will remind the audience with some links and information available on our website.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And now we are going to see a record from one of your colleagues, Lena, I guess, Timur Heyman from yes. Finland, who is also a safety expert on our list of experts to provide us with input on safety research and consultancy.
My name is Teemu Reiman, and I represent my own one-person company, Lilikoi. My company provides research, training, and consultancy services for several safety-critical industries, including nuclear, healthcare, and railways. My own background is in psychology, and I have worked as a researcher, safety practitioner, and a consultant. And I'm also an associate professor at Aalto University in Espoo, Finland. So I have a mix of academic and practical experience. I joined the ERA qualification pilot scheme because I believe that that knowledge is the backbone of safety. I think it's important to ensure that the training provided by different parties operating in the EU is of high quality, and that this training actually contributes to enhancing our knowledge on safety. I think it's good that the ERA qualification scheme also aims to ensure that the training that is provided is in line with the ERA guidelines and policies. So ERA qualified training should also be able to fulfill regulatory requirements in the area of safety. My training is focused on safety culture and leadership issues. I focus on the importance of leadership at different levels of the organization for building a healthy culture for safety. In the training, I elaborate on the main dimensions of safety culture, and I explain the ERA safety culture model and how it can be used in both developing and as well as assessing safety culture. And I aim to bring kind of practical examples from my professional experience to complement and in a way to add life to these more theoretical safety culture models. And about practical examples, I also go through organizational and cultural lessons learned from accidents in different safety critical domains. And this comes back to the topic of this webinar, knowledge as a pillar of railway safety. I think there is a lot to learn from failures in other industries that can help us to prevent failures and accidents in railways. This training is applicable for railway undertaking, infrastructure managers, as well as national safety authorities. I can do the training in English or Finnish, and I collaborate with MTU Säkerhet, who can deliver the training also in Swedish. So thank you to ERA for this opportunity, and I hope to see you all in one of my trainings or in any other ERA qualified trainings. Bye-bye.
Okay, so we'll go on with our tour, heading south now to Poland, where we should have with us Julian from Tech Solutions. Julian, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you for the invitation, and sorry for problem with connections. I'm happy to see you and be with you. Yes, my name is Julian Kominowski. I'm a member of the board in Tech Solutions Group. We are a small company on Polish market. We are started 10 years ago. Our main cooperation is focused about construction and maintenance process in rail operators. We create designs taking into account of the latest European standards, including UC, TSE, and etc. We specialize in the design of vehicle components, running gears, vehicle body. We use the CAD and CIE tools. If you talk about the qualifying process, for us is very important to consolidate and update existing knowledge of the safety of the rail transport system, both in terms of construction and maintenance of rail vehicles and infrastructure components. We think this is very important in terms of the rapidly developing railway environment. What is more, the training system makes it is possible to promote a safety culture among employees, which leads to greater awareness and commitment to maintaining high safety standards. We believe that the ERA qualification system will allow us to identify training values that meet the contemporary requirements of the railway markets. Our course, which name is Safety Management in European Union Railway Transport, is based on the legislation of European Union in the railway sector. It tackles to institutional context of the following topics and tools: safety management system, SMS, MMS, and change management and maintenance management system, registers and database. The training is intended to make the legal framework more understandable to new railway safety practitioners. I think it will be to new people in operators of railway market.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Julian. Good to have you today and have you in your pilot with your experience, I would say cross-sectorial experience. So it is very rich. Our audience starts to see already the diversity of type of training that we had the chance to learn from and to assess, and I wish our audience appreciate that. So please stay connected, Julian, in case some questions popped. We're going south again with now Turker. So it's a video also. Turker is actually based in Turkey, but his training service are delivered often in Germany and Austria. So the floor is for Turkey.
Guten Tag, meine Damen und Herren. Mein Name ist Dr. Türker Ahi. Ich bin ein erfahrener und zertifizierter Eisenbahnsicherheitsexperte für mehr als 19 Jahren. Ich saß sowohl auf der Seite von Consulting als auch auf der Seite von der Sicherheitsbewertung als Lead Assessor. Ich habe in verschiedenen Ländern mit Ministerien, Staatsbahnen und privaten Eisenbahnverkehrs, aber auch mit Infrastrukturunternehmen gearbeitet. Durch den präzisen und sorgfältigen Arbeitsumfang habe ich viele Case Studies und verschiedene Implementierungen der EU-Verordnung selbst erleben können. Mit diesen Erfahrungen versuchen wir mit unseren Trainern die Best-Practice-Verfahren nach Niveau und Erwartungen der Teilnehmer optimal anzupassen und wird auch interaktiv in unseren Trainings wiedergespiegelt. Ein Qualifizierungsschema für Sicherheitsausbildung für die europäische Eisenbahn ist sehr wichtig. Das Vorhandensein eines Qualifizierungsschemas gewährleistet, dass die Sicherheitsschulung in europäischen Bahnen standardisierten Protokollen bewährten Verfahren entspricht. Das Schema entspricht den EU-Verordnungen und Standards und stellt sicher, dass alle Sicherheitsschulungsprogramme die rechtlichen Anforderungen der Regulierungsbehörden erfüllen. Dies hilft dabei, potenzielle rechtliche Probleme und Strafen im Zusammenhang mit Nichtkonformität zu vermeiden. Eine angemessene Sicherheitsschulung reduziert signifikant die Wahrscheinlichkeit von Unfällen und Zwischenfällen auf Bahnen. Gut ausgebildetes Personal trägt zu einer verbesserten betrieblichen Effizienz bei, indem es Störungen durch Unfälle minimiert, einen reibungsloseren Betrieb sicherstellt und Ausfallzeiten aufgrund sicherheitsbezogener Probleme reduziert. Ein robustes Qualifizierungsschema für Sicherheitsschulung stärkt das Vertrauen der Öffentlichkeit in das europäische Bahnsystem. Mit der Entwicklung neuer Technologien kann das Qualifizierungsschema auch aktualisiert werden und mit den fortschrittlichen Technologien und aufkommenden Sicherheitsanforderungen im Zusammenhang mit Automatisierung und Digitalisierung im Bahnbereich zu integrieren. Zusammenfassend ist ein Qualifizierungsschema für Sicherheitsschulung für europäische Bahnen entscheidend, um die Einhaltung sicherzustellen, die Kompetenz zu verbessern, Unfälle zu vermeiden, die betriebliche Effizienz zu steigern, öffentliches Vertrauen aufzubauen und sich an die entwickelnden Technologien, Trends in der Bahn anzupassen. Was bieten wir an? Wir bieten verschiedene Klassenraum oder als E-Learning und Online Trainingsangebote da für das Sicherheitsmanagementsystem, aber auch für CSM-Einleitungen. Das sind im Schnitt 3 volle Tage oder selbst 6 Halbtage. Zielgruppen wären hier Mitarbeiter der nationalen Sicherheitsbehörden, EVUs, EIUs und ECM-Werkstätte. Schulungsziele sind: Erfahren Sie mehr über die geltenden europäischen Richtlinien, Ansatz und Beziehung zwischen Stakeholdern, Verständnis für die Eisenbahnsicherheit, Entwicklung der Sicherheit zu einem systemischen Ansatz und die Rollen, Funktionen des Sicherheitsmanagementsystems in der Eisenbahnsicherheit. Signifikante Änderungen und CSM-Implementierung sind auch Teil des Trainings. Wir hoffen, Sie bald zu treffen und besten Dank und auf Wiedersehen.
We'll go to Belgium, close to where we are actually now.
Yes.
We should have Bart and Chica from the company Ascento with us. Good morning, good afternoon, should I say?
Yes.
Bart, can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, good morning. I am Bart Mortier. I'm here today with my colleague Chica Mfuni. And indeed, we're from a training company in Belgium, Ascento. And together we developed a training course, Cogni React, and it's based on neuroscience. It's based on it is a brain-based approach of safety behavior. So in our view, knowledge and especially knowledge sharing is very important. Sharing new insights based on scientific research and seeing how they can be implemented to increase employee and passenger safety seems essential to us. A qualification scheme acts as a stimulus for us to reflect on our own approach and its application within the railway sector and thus further improve services. What is our training about? Despite training, experience, clear procedures, and safe machinery, employees still make unconscious mistakes that lead to accidents or to near accidents. And what if it has to do with cognitive biases, automatism, incorrect risk assessment, and selective attention? Things that take place in the brain. For example, employees are convinced they have seen almost everything in a given situation. But of course, that is not the case. Or they think that mistakes only happen to other people because they are the experts. Or they are convinced they can multitask. And as we know, or may not know, but multitasking doesn't exist. As humans, we make a lot of errors of judgment, especially when we need to act quickly. Then we react with the available programs in our brain, but these are not always the correct ones. However, we can learn new correct behavior by practicing the right behavior frequently, creating new automatisms in our brain. So our Cogni React program focuses on understanding the psychological and neurological factors that influence whether we work safely or not. By understanding these factors, we can develop targeted interventions to increase safety awareness and avoid risky behavior. So by providing employees with insights into the link between our thinking and our behavior, Acento's workshops and training courses teach employees to consciously steer their behavior. Together with the participants, we discover tools and ways of working applicable in their work situation. We do this in an experiential, playful way based on scientific test material. So our approach consists of, first of all, digital games to measure the level of alertness, perception, and reaction speed. Then secondly, interactive training to discover cognitive biases and automatisms and their influence on our working behavior. And together, we discover tools to act more consciously. And we have also developed interactive games to imprint safety procedures in the brain. So we adapt our workshops and training courses specifically for the railway sector. We use recognizable examples and situations. We have programs for employees, but also for managers. For the latter, we zoom in on more on taking decisions and leading a team in a brain-friendly way. In response to the training sessions, we got the feedback that thanks to this training, the employees became aware of the importance of applying the rules properly and of paying more attention to detail, for example. So we use a lot of exercises and interaction between the participants. So the most important things to remember is, first of all, we look at the origins of behavior to then modify it. Secondly, it is an approach based on the neuroscience. Then better understanding of the cognitive biases that make us make mistakes. Then discovering tools to avoid these cognitive biases, and discovering the level of perception and reactivity of the participants to be better aware of their position. So thank you very much to ERA for the opportunity to be here today to explain our approach. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bart, and thank you, Chika. And I know that some of our stakeholders already had the chance to attend a version of your workshop back in Tallinn last year, and I know how much it was appreciated. I also cannot prevent myself to pay tribute to Daniel Kahneman, the Nobel Prize who went away a few weeks ago and was clearly impacted the field you were describing with cognitive bias in economy, but also in safety. When allowing us to better understanding decision making.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. So we are now in France, in the south of France, where the weather may be more pleasant than here today. And we will have the pleasure to listen to Dunia Tazi, who was already intervened in one of our webinars. It's a pre-recording and in French, and I hope the English subtitles help our audience.
Je suis Dunia Tazi de l'ICSI. L'ICSI est une association au service de la culture de sécurité. C'est un lieu d'échange neutre qui regroupe l'ensemble des acteurs de la sécurité industrielle et compte plus de 80 adhérents. Nous avons 3 principales missions. La première, c'est d'aider à l'amélioration de la sécurité dans les entreprises par la prise en compte du risque industriel sous tous ses aspects, qu'il soit technique, organisationnel ou humain. Notre deuxième mission, c'est de favoriser un débat ouvert et citoyen entre les entreprises à risque et la société civile. Et enfin, notre troisième mission, c'est de favoriser la diffusion d'une culture de sécurité auprès de l'ensemble des acteurs de la société. Nous sommes enthousiastes d'avoir rejoint le pilote de qualification des formations sécurité de l'ERA et remercions ERA de sa sollicitation. En effet, la sécurité dans le secteur ferroviaire est cruciale. Un schéma de qualification permettra de garantir que l'ensemble des professionnels sont formés et compétents pour gérer les défis spécifiques du domaine ferroviaire. Cela contribue bien évidemment à prévenir les accidents, à protéger les passagers et à maintenir un réseau ferroviaire sûr et efficace. En ce sens, un schéma de qualification pour la formation à la sécurité est essentiel pour garantir la sécurité, la cohérence et la confiance dans le secteur ferroviaire européen. Pour en venir à la formation que l'ICSI propose, notre formation Leadership Sécurité a pour ambition de développer le leadership sécurité du top et du middle management, et elle permet en particulier de comprendre son rôle en tant que leader en sécurité, d'adopter, de donner du sens et de partager la vision de la sécurité, d'établir un environnement propice à la sécurité et prendre des décisions éclairées, de connaître les réalités du terrain et mener à bien les visites de sécurité, de promouvoir des pratiques individuelles et collectives plus sûres, d'encourager la remontée d'informations et le partage, y répondre de manière juste et équitable, et enfin de renforcer la crédibilité des managers pour favoriser une meilleure mobilisation de tous. C'est une formation de 7 heures en e-learning asynchrone et elle existe en 3 langues, en français, anglais et espagnol. Merci à vous.
Merci, Dunia. So it's another e-learning type of training which were submitted to us and successfully assessed. And now we're heading to the south, the last zone of our safety training, and we will start with 2 videos from our Spanish colleagues. The first one is Jesus Villena from Ergotech, and I think we will try to put, as soon as it is finished, the intervention of Pilar Calvo.
Mi nombre es Jesús Villena y dirijo Ergotech, una empresa que en los últimos 30 años se ha dedicado a promover la integración de los factores humanos y organizativos en sectores con altas exigencias de seguridad. Naturalmente, entre estos sectores se encuentra el sector ferroviario, un sector con el que llevamos trabajando de manera muy intensa los últimos 5 años. Ergotech ha decidido promover y participar de manera muy activa en esta interesante iniciativa de la Agencia Europea de Seguridad Ferroviaria. y hemos decidido participar porque consideramos que ciertos campos profesionales de conocimiento en seguridad, ampliamente conocidos y aplicados en la seguridad de las operaciones de múltiples industrias de distinto tipo, no son lo suficientemente conocidos y utilizados en el sector ferroviario. Queremos, con nuestra experiencia, contribuir a que este desafío que propone la Agencia Europea sea todo un éxito. Y vamos a participar en esta iniciativa con un seminario intensivo y presencial de factores humanos y organizativos de la seguridad, en el que buscamos que las herramientas, los métodos, las teorías y los conceptos se conozcan de manera práctica, participativa y aplicable. Aplicable sobre todo en todo el ciclo de vida de la instalación ferroviaria, desde el diseño, pasando por la construcción, la operación, el mantenimiento y finalmente el desmantelamiento de dicha instalación. En resumen, esperamos que esta iniciativa haga posible que la propuesta que en este proyecto nos hace la agencia sea todo un éxito. Les esperamos.
Soy Pilar Calvo, directora de proyectos en ESM. Llevamos más de 25 años apoyando al sector ferroviario en materia de formación en seguridad, factores humanos y cultura positiva de seguridad. ¿Por qué es importante para los ferrocarriles europeos un sistema de cualificación de la formación en seguridad? Como sabemos, los ferrocarriles son sistemas sociotécnicos y adquirir competencias en seguridad garantiza que las personas que tienen responsabilidad en seguridad en todos los niveles puedan cumplir mejor sus funciones. La ERA está haciendo una magnífica labor de difusión de la legislación ferroviaria en materia de seguridad, pero además con este esquema de cualificación pone en valor la formación existente en los distintos países que está apoyando eficazmente ese cumplimiento normativo en materia de seguridad. Comprender mejor, por ejemplo, qué es la cultura justa o la cultura de seguridad positiva y cómo llevarla a la práctica facilitaría ese cumplimiento normativo y es lo que se intenta desde algunas de estas acciones formativas. El esquema de cualificación facilita la participación de esos líderes, la participación en la formación en la lengua propia de cada país. ¿De qué trata en concreto nuestra acción formativa? Liderando la cultura positiva de seguridad. Esta acción formativa, que ya han realizado más de 100 personas con una valoración exitosa, tiene varios módulos en aquellos que irán recorriendo esta formación, los líderes, verán de una forma no solo teórica, sino también práctica, con ejemplos y con roleplay, cómo aplicar ese liderazgo en seguridad cumpliendo la normativa en seguridad ferroviaria y siguiendo el modelo de cultura de la ERA. Os invitamos desde aquí a participar en esta acción formativa y sin duda mejorará no solo la comprensión, sino también la aplicación y facilitará el compromiso de los líderes con este espacio de seguridad ferroviaria.
Thank you, Jesus and Pilar, for providing us these records about their training and their views about the importance of knowledge for railway safety and a qualification scheme for safety training. So it's time to end our journey with our last destinations in Italy, and we should be with Luca Sav from Deep Blue. Luca, good afternoon, and can you please introduce yourself?
Hello. So we are at the south now. So I'm Luca Save from the Italian company Deep Blue. I'm personally a safety and human factors expert with experience both in the aviation and railway domain. And since 2020, I'm coordinating a business area of our company, which is dealing with railway. And in this role, I've been specializing together with other colleagues in the integration of human and organizational factors in the safety management system of railway undertakings and infrastructure managers. And we have worked with now about 15 operators overall, considering cargo, railway company, and regional transport company. And for what concern one of the topics that was addressed by all the other colleagues, so why it is important the knowledge about safety. I would like to provide this contribution. In my view, but I think this is mainly due to historical reasons, railway is a heavily regulated sector, so there are procedures detailing the operations for each operator, the train driver, the train guard, and so on and so forth. This is something very important for safety, very useful for safety, but on the other side, there could be also an illusion associated with that. So the fact that we establish an equivalence between compliance with rule and safety. And this equivalence, it is not correct. It's not the case for complex socio-technical systems like railways, because you may have many risks generated by a combination of factors that procedures designer cannot easily predict. This is why it's very important to have a specific competence, skill, knowledge to predict and identify this kind of risk. While if I have to refer to specifically to our course, the one that has been qualified in the pilot qualification process of ERA, is a course about human and organizational factors in the safety management system. So it is addressed to safety management staff, to safety investigators, to the instructors of the different operational areas, so train driving and train guards and shunters and all the other types of operators. But can also be addressed to, for example, middle management or top management, especially in smaller companies, in which the management is directly involved in decisions about the safety of operations. And I would like to remark another aspect. Okay, human and organizational factors. Why? Because it is important to provide means to the expert to not only identify, for example, an inadequate or unsafe human performance that may produce accidents or accidents, but it is very important to understand why a human performance has been erroneous. And so if you are not able to distinguish different kinds of unsafe performance, if you are not able to understand what ERA called the operational reasoning of the operator, so why it made sense for an operator to behave in this way, it is very difficult to identify good safety measures, good protective and mitigation measures to improve your safety.
Thank you very much, Luca, and thanks for sharing your tremendous work in this area of human and organizational factors. And also thank you for referring to our work, our online course on organizational just culture, which introduced this concept of operational reasoning. We stay in Italy for our last intervention, recording intervention. We moved to, we give the floor to a professor of the beautiful University La Sapienza. It is Luca Rizzetto.
Buonasera a tutti, sono Luca Rizzetto, sono ricercatore in ingegneria ferroviaria all'Università di Roma La Sapienza e amministratore delegato dello spin-off DITS, nato nel 2012 dall'esperienza di un gruppo di professori e ricercatori Sapienza. Tra le altre attività, dal 2016 operiamo nell'ambito della formazione sulla sicurezza ferroviaria e in questo momento siamo molto lieti di partecipare al progetto pilota di qualificazione lanciato dall'ERA con la nostra proposta formativa nell'ambito dei fattori umani organizzativi e dello sviluppo della cultura della sicurezza. In tanti anni di esperienza nel settore ferroviario, la nostra natura universitaria ci ha sempre portato a riconoscere la condivisione della conoscenza come valore fondamentale alla base della sicurezza e ad adottare due regole: sviluppare tutte le prestazioni verso l'eccellenza e avere un profondo rispetto per l'esperienza degli operatori ferroviari, che non solo formiamo, ma dal confronto coi quali noi stessi ci arricchiamo quotidianamente. Nonostante in altri settori, ad esempio nel trasporto aeronautico, siano disponibili tecniche e filosofie di intervento affermate, la complessità e la peculiarità del sistema ferroviario ci portano a ritenere che sia necessario sviluppare e consolidare buone pratiche di questo settore per concretizzare gli scopi della sicurezza ferroviaria e rispettarne le specificità. Per raggiungere questo obiettivo, crediamo che la qualificazione della formazione sulla sicurezza promossa dall'ERA rappresenti una preziosa occasione di confronto. Entrando nel merito della formazione che proponiamo in ambito OFF, il nostro protocollo SIU, che sta per Sharing Enterprise Wellbeing, integra una formazione tecnico-ingegneristica per la sicurezza dei processi dell'SGS con una formazione intervento per lo sviluppo della cultura della sicurezza e del benessere organizzativo. Il processo formativo si sviluppa su 3 livelli e ha lo scopo di consolidare i processi del sistema di gestione della sicurezza, valorizzare le competenze tecniche e professionali degli operatori ferroviari, migliorare la relazione tra i gruppi professionali e la collaborazione tra le persone all'interno dell'azienda, riallineare gli obiettivi individuali con quelli dell'organizzazione e infine sostenere una leadership autorevole, competente e coinvolgente. Come suggerisce il modello europeo della cultura della sicurezza ferroviaria 2.0 di ERA, SIU valorizza tutte le politiche organizzative a sostegno dello sviluppo dell'eccellenza nella sicurezza ferroviaria e del benessere organizzativo. Grazie mille a tutti i partecipanti al webinar per l'attenzione, all'Agenzia Ferroviaria Europea per questa bella occasione di condivisione e spero a presto.
That's it. We are now finishing our virtual railway journey. I don't see any questions. As we used to say, it's because all information has clearly been shared. And I would like clearly to thank our 10 guest speakers who shared with our audience the safety training and their perception of why knowledge is key for railway safety. As a wrap-up, I would like to show where you can find more information. So I am moving now into domains. And into domains, you have a keyword of safety training and assistance to rail stakeholders. And it's in our safety training and assistance to rail stakeholder where you have a field name third-party training, safety training. And inside this part, we have gather all the information provided today. A synthesis, obviously, with the topic covered by the training, the language, and the links for more information and even registration to the training which were introduced today. Before I give the floor to my colleagues, I would really like to thank you, Anna Patachini and Fabrizio Spinelli, who are the colleagues who have put lots of efforts and who are contributing a lot to this work. I would like also to share some information about our safety training. Cyrielle will in a minute tell you about the upcoming sessions, but I wanted to inform you that we have a new course on HOF in SMS training, and future sessions will be organized soon this year. And also thanks to the support of our NSA colleagues, National Safety Authorities, we are finalizing a new e-learning module on our safety culture model, allowing inspectors and safety managers to gather information on safety culture. Lastly, we have launched a call for presentations for our OFF conference on 22 and 23 October. So if you have good practice to share on OFF and risk management, you are more than welcome to submit proposals. Thank you very much, and I'm happy to hand over Marnix, leader of Stakeholder Relations, Academy and Communication team.
And let's now zoom out to put the subject of this webinar into a wider context. First of all, the ERA Academy is the umbrella for ERA dissemination and training. We organize conferences, events, workshops, and of course, training and e-learning, and part of that we have discussed this afternoon. Webinars we organize and other activities related to knowledge sharing. And of course, the ERA website is the main overall source to become aware of what is available and where. We already said during this webinar that proper understanding of the EU legislation on railway safety and interoperability, the implementation guides and recommendations is crucial for various reasons. Easy access to training all over Europe is therefore important, preferably, of course, in your own language. We therefore intend to provide on our website references to relevant training available all over Europe in order to ease finding education in the field of EU railway legislation. And the current pilot that was in explanation in this webinar is part of our aim to gradually add information about the suitability of the content of trainings provided, especially whether it is providing the appropriate interpretation of the EU legislation. Obviously, ERA will continue to provide further training itself, but there will not be capacity at our side to perform all training ourselves indeed. So in light of this pilot, you should note that we have used the term qualification. It is a working title, and we will define levels of evaluation in the near future for certain trainings. Apart from this, of course, we will continue to further populate the e-learning platform on the ERA website. We will organize events and dissemination conferences, provide information on the ERA website, and organize more webinars like we do today. Additionally, we will further involve, as we did until now, and we will elaborate on that with the networks of national safety authorities and the network of representative bodies. This is all in order to let us focus on the right needs on the side of the audience, you, to this webinar. So I herewith also like to ask you to provide us information on in which areas you see the need for additional training or other dissemination activities. And we will provide in the chat box a link, and it will also be available on our website in the area of webinars, via which you will find a very easy and simple questionnaire to provide information on what you would like us to work on in the future. To put this webinar even in a much wider picture, I would like to mention STAFFER, which is the Skill Training Alliance for the Future European Rail System. This is an EU-funded framework for sectorial cooperation on skills. It is active for a bit more than 3 years now, and its objective is to help identify the main existing skill gaps and to assess the future needs in the railways, taking into account expected coming skills shortages. ERA is actively involved in the advisory board of Stafer, and I trust that this webinar is also contributing to these objectives of Stafer. Having said that, I hand over to Cyrielle.
Thank you very much, Marnix. And thank you also, Gregory. Thank you, Joseph. We are now reaching the end of this webinar. I really want to thank a lot everyone for your participation, and of course the 10 training owners for your presence, whether live today or on video. Thank you very much. In the backstage, this is very important, I would also like to thank very much Dorothea Spappen and Said Rajput for their support. You will see in a minute a QR code that you can scan to provide your feedback on this webinar. As usual, we read every feedback that we receive and we take them into account for new webinars. So that's the QR code. And then I hope you're all aware that the ERTMS 2024 conference is approaching rapidly. There are still a few spots available, so don't wait too long. You can still register via our website. Furthermore, speaking of ERTMS, if you're interested in joining our agency, please be aware that a new opportunity has just opened up for posts of administrators in the ERTMS unit. The deadline to apply is the 10th of May. You can find all the relevant information on our website. Don't miss it. Then be informed that from the 14th to the 16th of May, there will be a new session of the Investigating SMS training. Registrations are closed for this session, but there will be another one in September, so stay tuned. Then on the 28th, 29th, 13th of May and the 10th of June, the agency is organizing an organizational just culture training open to rail professionals and safety specialists. You can register also via our website. At the end of May, lots of things to tell you today. There's also a deadline that may be of interest to all the women watching us. The 31st of May is the deadline to apply for the Women in Rail Award 2024, which this year will bring the spotlight on winning combinations, inspiring role models, and outstanding research and innovation achievements for women and by women that are bringing the railway industry forward. If you're interested, visit our website for more information. On the 18th of June, there will be another safety leadership training in Valenciennes. So registration is open for that one. And last but not least, at the same time, on the 18th and 19th of June, there will be the very first edition of the Rail Data Forum that will take place in Verona, in Italy. You can register now for this forum. Registration have just opened, so don't wait because spots are limited. Having said that, if you would like to stay updated on our activities, please check our website and sign into our database by selecting the button Login on our website page. And you can, of course, follow us whenever you want on our social media accounts, X and LinkedIn. I warmly thank you for your presence and attention today, and I wish you a very good afternoon. Bye.